Spencer! Where's Go? I have some adventures. Where's Go? I have some adventures with Thomas. Where's Go? And have some adventures. Sodor's a fun place to be. Sodor's greatest adventures. Sodor's greatest adventures. One day at Emmett sheds, the engines were just waking up for another busy day on the railway. However, the factor pulled up in his car. He has some exciting news for the engines. As you all know, said the Pack Controller, our railway has been through large changes, like James leaving the steam team, including Evan and Henry, yet again, said the Pack Controller, or having Chromescape become a branch line now. Spencer joined the steam team, which was orders from last year, including Lotta and other exciting adventures, said the Pack Controller. So, he said, that I have decided that you all going to have a special treat for your hard work usually, like at the castle or when Thomas, Neil, James, Spencer, so when they had to go to London or that kind of stuff, or even former members helped at the castle when you lot. It's amazing. Anyways, or James coming rescuing all that kind of stuff. But anyways, so Pack Control, enough of that now. However, I got an exciting news that might treat you all. Today, said the Pack Controller, the Sodor news crew are coming to interview some of the engines. Not every engine, but some of them. And they're only coming for one day, said the Pack Controller. The engines were surprised. Who will be interviewed, sir? They all asked. Oh, said the Pack Controller, some engines like, not really a lot. There's probably some from just the formula, probably Great Western engine on the branch on Doug's branch line, said the Pack Controller. Probably those sort of engines or something. But you lot still have regular jobs to do, said the Pack Controller. Understood? Yes, sir, said the engines. The Pack Controller walked away. The engines didn't mind about this, but one engine did, and it was Spencer. What are those reporters thinking about? He said. I mean, of course, the Formula members may have did something cool, like James becoming a rescue engine on the east side of the island, or when they helped us at the castle, said Spencer. But really, what about us? Well, said Percy, we did help at the castle, you know. But what about when we went to London? Said Neil. Yes, said Rebecca. Or maybe like, I don't know, Rebecca, like this basic travel to summer and Christmas, like every year, said Gordon. Besides, said Thomas, we all have our own different work. Precisely, said Emily. What should we be jealous about? Jealous about? Said Spencer. Why? Maybe I'm not jealous. Spencer was. I mean, yes, the Formula members may be no longer at the sheds, but that is not fair on us Steam Team members. We should be interviewed. The Formula members are getting too much popularity for themselves. It's about time we take back our claim. Oh no, said Gordon, I am not going through any more troubles. What do you mean? Don't you remember, said Gordon, about that trouble we got into with Sonny? Said Spencer. Yes, we know our mistakes, but this time, with the Sodor news, I am not going to make a mistake. Now, if you excuse me, said Spencer, I may go and follow them. And with that, Spencer steamed away. The engines were worried. At Napa Station, Spencer puffed in on platform 1. He has to wait for Stanley to take a goods train for one to take. However, he was still thinking about the interviews. Huh, said Spencer. Steam team are never getting things these days. Only Formula members get them. And what about the Great Western engines on Doug's branch line? Huh. Why should Don Douglas get them? They're Scottish. And Doug and Arthur always found the Great Western way. Huh. Serves them right. Just then, Spencer overheard a conversation. It was the back controller. He was beside her. He was talking to somebody. There was a van. It had the title Sodor News. Spencer was surprised. It's a Sodor News crew. Maybe they would like to interview an engine like me. Besides, I do own a world record, he said. Thank you for the map. Said the manager of the Sodor News. We'll go to some of the places that are very popular on the island and interview some engines of yours. Very well then, said the Fat Controller. If there's any problems, do give me a call and I'll be there as soon as I can, or give me a call wherever I am. We will do as they went off. The Fat Controller headed back into his office. Spencer, sir, disclaimed. He said, I can forward them. And with that, Spencer raced off. Stanley was about to come around the bend when he saw Spencer leaving. Spencer, he said, you forgot your goods train. Spencer thundered down the line. As he raced past some countrysides and stations, trying to prove everyone that he'd be good to be interviewed. But the more Spencer kept up with the van, the more he grew faster to catch up. Soon, the Sodor News crew arrived at Wellsworth. Everyone and Phil were in the yard as usual. They were just getting ready for today's work. Spencer puffed in on beside the tracks on the main line. He saw the van. Perfect, said Spencer. This is my time to shine, he said. So the news crew were just getting ready. Are you Evan and Philip? They asked. Yes, we are, said the two engines. Good. We like to interview you for a Sodor News. We want you to tell us about your history on the island, and including what work you do. Certainly, said Edward and Philip, happily together. They were quite excited. Spencer got in place. Here we go, said Spencer. So, hello everyone, and welcome to Sodor News. I am your Sodor News reporter. Today, we'll be interviewing some engines around the island. And starting off, we're starting at Wellsworth, and we're going to be interviewing two engines that are the main engines that work on this branch line. This being Edward and Philip. Hello, and welcome to Sodor News. Thank you, they said. Now, can you please tell our viewers about your history on the island? While Evan and Philip did, Spencer was getting in place. Time for this world record engine to shine, he said. With a blow of his whistle, he raced. He tried and raced down the line at fast speed as he whooshed past. But when he braked, nobody didn't see him. Spencer was surprised. What the? He said. No, I didn't notice me. And then, ooh, that was the movie, said Philip. However, my friend I know is Rachel, who is another friend of mine called James, Wake's fan. We got into a fight about it, but that's okay now. That was cleaned up. Yeah, said Edward. James told me that. Oh well, said the news reporter. Thank you for that interview. You're welcome, said Edward happily. Indeed, said Philip. Anyways, brace it up now, boys. Thank you for the interview. We'll be back you. We're the Sunday News Gang. We will report you back shortly. Let's take a break. Spencer was cross. How could they do this to me? He said. Then he had a sneaky idea. I wonder. Maybe they can show off some more plans of skills of mine, he said. With that, he puffed away. And so did the van, who had saw the news gang. At Crowens Gate, in the yard, James, Ivor, and Rachel were there. Henry was also there. He was still delivering a goods train there. The four friends were having a chat about today. I heard there was meant to be a Sodor news company coming today, said Henry. Well, asked Ivor. I don't know. No, but I think they were at Wellsworth, as I heard. I mean, Folk overheard, and he told me at the shunting house when I picked up my goods train from there and brought it here. Ah, said James. It will be good to be interviewed, but don't forget, we were in Accident Engine 4, you know. Yes, said Henry, might be too much. Just then, the Southern News band turned up. The engines and Rachel were surprised. There it is, they said. Hello, they said. We were wondering, can we interview you for Ivor and Rachel were delighted. They'd never been on TV before. James and Henry, however, did think about they were in the movie with Boca and Philip. However, they decided to go on with it. Of course you can, said Henry. We'll have a lot of stories, won't we, Hen? I mean, James. Of course, Hen, said James. However, Spencer was in front of the yard on the main track going to the platform. Perfect, said Spencer. Just what I needed. He got in place. Now, can you tell us about your past and about what jobs you do? Including about your past and what jobs you do. Yes, we will, they said. Spencer shot forward. But look at me, I am Spencer, the fastest engine on Sodor. But nobody did overhear Spencer. So the engine and Rachel were too busy trying to focus on their interview. And then I got during the road and rescued Thomas off the tracks, and that's how I got my branch line. And then I slept here always, thanks to Ivor telling me to do that idea. Yes, indeed, said Henry. I do remember one time where we were trying to go on a best friend's day out, but Emily and Rebecca keep ruining it. Spencer was cross. Oh, said Rachel, I used to be in a scrapyard after after a crash. Crash? What crash? Said James. You should tell us someday, said Henry. You should, said Ivor. Said Rachel. Maybe I should. Spencer was cross. Never mind about them. What about me? When I first came, said Ivor. Gordon makes fun of me, but he soon stopped it after James helped me, as well as me being so braving past us through the storm. Spencer was so cross. How could they do this to me? I tried blowing steam, and this didn't work either. This is disgraceful, he said. All right, thank you very much for that interview. Said the news reporter. That's Crowens Gate here, folks. We're now off to the Little Western branch line. Spencer was surprised. That's we ducked on those over in Toyertoysyt. Maybe I can try that. I got a better idea for that. The van was already off. That was a nice interview, said James. Yes, said James's friends. Spencer raced up after the Sodor News team. I wonder what Spencer's off to. The engine does notice Spencer. I hope he's not doing anything bad, said Rachel. He's already got enough trouble, said Henry. Meanwhile, on the Little Western, the Great Western engines, Toad and Donald and Douglas, the Scottish twins, were just resting in the yard before their next jobs when the Sodor news van turned up. They stepped out. "Hello, Western engines, are you?" "Me and Oliver are the Western engines," said Donald and Douglas are Scottish. Indeed, right, laddie, we are," they said. "Well, whatever," said the news reporter. Today, we would like to interview you for Sodor News." The ancient Toad was right. "That would be marvelous," said Toad. "We'd love to be interviewed, Mr. Sodor News," he said. Huh. Some brakeman you have there," said. "Very well, pretty much, you know. Yeah, he always says Mr. or Mrs. to someone," said Oliver. "He was like that for years." "You can tell us about that in your interview," said the man. "Very well then," they said. However, Spencer was once again up to his old tricks. "This should be my shot now," he said. He blew steam. "Here we go," he said. But Spencer was blowing too much steam. "And here we go. And welcome back to Sodor. Here comes Spencer, the world record holder," he said. So as he blows steam everywhere. "Oh no! Cut! Oh bother!" said the cameraman. "The cameras, they're wet." "Who did this?" said the news reporter. "Now we can't film." The engines were surprised, including Toad. "Look, it's Mr. Spencer." Spencer looked around. "Spencer," said Doc, "what brings you to the branch line?" "Aye, laddie," said Douglas. "I hope you're not here to talk about you're stronger than Oliver and Doc," said Donald. "Like what you and Gordon are trying to do with Sully," said Douglas. "Don't remind me of that," said Spencer. "I just want to be part of the news interview." You want to be a part of it?" said Oliver. "Yeah, I was trying to do the whole day." "Why did you tell the back controller or the news reporter when you had the chance? Or even see them, Mr. Spencer?" said Toad. "I did see them," said Oliver. Said Spencer. I tried to be showing off for a day, trying to see what skills I got, but they never bothered to see me. That's because we're busy with the engines we interviewed at getting wells for. So, you could have told us when you were at Knapford. Wait a minute, you saw me at Knapford? Yes. We saw you at Knapford, but didn't have the time. And I did saw you at the other two places we interviewed first. But we now can't film because you blow steam everywhere, which makes the cameras cover in water. I think I heard Thomas did that once with a billboard, said Doc. Spencer looked down at his buffers and then looked all around. The cameras were wet. Donald Douglas, the Great Western engines, and Toad couldn't be interviewed, and nobody would get to see them be interviewed on TV. Spencer knew it was all his fault. "I'm so sorry," he said. "I promise I'll make sure I won't do this," he said. "But what can you do to make up for it?" said Doc. Spencer thinked and thinked. "Whoever's being interviewed," said Spencer, "I'll do their work." The engines were surprised. They were not expecting Spencer to say that. "Don't you have to collect a goods train?" said Oliver. "I mean, earlier on when me and Toad were delivering a goods train to Knapford for yards, I saw Stanley there. He told me that we forgot to pick up a goods train." "Bother," said Spencer. "I've forgotten about my goods train. But don't worry. For the rest of the day, whoever's being interviewed, I'll do their work," said Spencer. And with that, Spencer puffed away. The engines were surprised. Anyways, what's going on with the interview? The cameras are dry. Yep, they are. And action! For the rest of the day, the Sodor News interviewed other rangers on the island. Spencer, on the other hand, did all the other rangers' jobs that were being interviewed. He was very dirty, pointing passwords and way, but he didn't care. He wanted to make up for his loss. Soon, all the engines were caught in Nafford's yard. Spencer, on the other hand, puffed into Nafford's yard. So the news crew was there. The factory arrived and stepped out of his car. So the news reporter spoke. Fire controller, your engines have been very, very loyal and hardworking. Even though the engines that didn't get interviewed still worked hard, but I must say the most engine that worked hard today was Spencer. He offered to do the engines that were being interviewed. Do their work. The fire controller was surprised. Is this true, Spencer? Yes, said Spencer. He explained everything about today. The fire controller sighed. I'm not happy with that behavior today, Spencer. But for your makeup doing other engines' work, has definitely proven that you have been a really useful engine today. And I'm sorry we didn't interview you. But we do have plans to come back here next time, and maybe just next time we could interview you as well as the STEAM team. Spencer was happy. Oh, really? That would be great. But I do deserve my punishment. Indeed you do, says the fire controller. First you were going to cause trouble, and now this? I'm sorry, sir. Gordon did try to tell me, but I wouldn't listen. Oh well, says the fire controller. We all learn from our mistakes. Anyways, well done, engines, said the fire controller. Anyways, goodbye, and the Sodor News crew left. The fire controller walked back to his car. As the steam team were ready to head back to the sheds, the Great Western engine and Scottish twins were ready to head back to the Great Western branch sheds, and the Formula members, including Ivor, Thor, and Philip, head back with the Formula members. Spencer spoke up. I'm sorry for my behavior this morning with the steam team and the rest of you trying to ruin your interviews, said Spencer. I just want to be interviewed so badly, but I've come now to realize that not the steam team have good power. Well, no powers in them, but good loyalty. I understand that, like the Formula members when they helped the steam team up at the castle, or when them and we steam team worked at the docks. But like the Great Western branch, you engines do have good skills as well. I mean, Toad, you keep the trucks in order. Oliver, you keep the trucks in good tidings too. And Doug, you always follow Great Western stuff. And Donald and Douglas, you know the true engine who are boss. You definitely have proven, like the Formula members, that you are really useful. Same thing goes with Ivor and Philip. They're very good shunters indeed, including Toad and Rachel, being such good brakeman's. I now understand that not the steam team and me are the best, but like Formula members, all the Great Western branch engines are good as well. The engines just were happy for Spencer. Good on you, Spencer, they all said. But Spencer was happy. With that, all the engines start to puff away. However, I think Spencer has done a good deal about today, hasn't he? Spencer now understands that the steam team is not just the best team. There's also other great teams like the Formula members, or the Great Western engines, or the Scottish twins, or any other teams. And that's what Spencer knows ever since. Let's go on and have some adventures with Tom and Noel and his friends. So those great adventures.